You guys don't need to worry about this so much. I don't know why you guys are even freaking out or talking about this, though.
Why?
No one needs anything. Everybody's beautiful.
The beauty landscape back in the 2000s was so different. All people wanted was shiny hair, white teeth, maybe a flat tummy for summer. Everyone definitely liked smaller areas though. Then the Kardashians came along and life as we know it changed forever. Over the next 18 years, the family upgraded no more insecurities for women into a global multi-million-dollar enterprise. Even though none of this should be normal to begin with, they showed us hips that didn't suit normal bone structure, lips that literally look photoshopped in real life, and skin that doesn't have a single pore. And at this point, they've drank their Kool-Aid long enough, they don't see anything wrong with what they've done.
No, I think something makes you insecure, and you've been feeling that way forever. Who doesn't want to look amazing? You only have one life, and what I've realized from what all of us have gone through is do what makes you happy, to an extent. I mean, I don't want you to, go crazy, but own up to it.
I personally have no problem with any of the Kardashians, or anyone else for that matter, getting plastic surgery. That's their choice and there should never be shame for that. The problem comes with the phrasing that it's other people's problem that they can't look like them because they don't do the work.
I have the best advice for women in business. Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Many people get up, work hard, and do the work. But unlike the Kardashian-Jenners, they don't have access to world-class gyms, personal trainers, personal chefs at home, the best glam teams possible, organic fresh food, and all the other health and wellness things that only the 1% get. And might I note that even with those things, the plastic Kardashians still Photoshop the heck out of their pictures. So not only do they too find their image unattainable in real life, it's also extra unattainable online. The funniest part about them saying that they do the work is the cosmetic surgeons who went through years and years of medical school and residency to do that work for them, only for the Kardashians to take credit for their hard work. They're so out of touch with reality. And what's worse is they sell us sleep kits and push-up bras, tummy trainers and workout plans, trying to convince us all that all of the procedures that they literally sit on didn't exist at all. We just need to buy their latest product to look just like them. But how in the world did this happen? How did the Kardashians transform decades of beauty standards and take over the world by exacerbating our insecurities? Well, we better buckle up and prepare ourselves for impact because here's how the entire timeline unfolded. When Kim's private tape leaked, everybody believed it was going to be her biggest scandal and that she would simply disappear. But her mother Kris, brilliant marketer that she is, saw something different. She saw a permanent billboard for Kim's body and she turned that billboard into the pilot episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Any publicity is good publicity, am I right?
Do you feel that the show would have had its massive initial success without the publicity that surrounded this tape?
Looking back, probably not. I think that everything happens for a reason, and I really try to live like that.
From the first night the show aired, the world learned that the backside could earn magazine covers, endorsement checks, and even a perfume line. Slowly, the slim Hollywood silhouettes of the 2000s ended up feeling old-fashioned, and the new hourglass figure we all know and love began its climb. This was all happening in the late 2000s and early 2010s. At that time, YouTube was also just starting to explode, especially in the beauty and makeup scene. YouTube makeup creators discovered that if you stripe down a bit of contour around your cheek and highlight under the eye, you can sharpen your face to a T. They inevitably called this the Kim K contour, and drugstores everywhere were stocking up with different contour palettes. Now of course the trick looked harmless enough as it was, but it taught millions of women around the world to reshape their face, and that maybe if they need to use makeup to contour, maybe somehow their natural bone structure was lacking in some way. And this was kind of the first beauty trend that the Kardashians ever really started. Sure, they had nothing to do with it, but boy did they reap the benefits. By the early 2010s, everybody knew the Kardashians' name, and every single person wanted to look like them. First it was the contour, which seemed kind of innocent on its own, but the next step was Kim and Khloe Kardashian coming out with hourglass silhouettes that are absolutely impossible to obtain without surgical intervention. And the weirdest part is they say that it was their incredible workouts that shaped their body to that level. It was at that point that things seriously started to take a turn. But did they build that booty working out? No. Dr. Paul Nassif built that booty. Dr. Gar Fisher built that chest. Their trainer got to go home grateful he got paid to do very little. Then of course because people are obsessed and followers started copying them, trying the weirdest mix of Pilates and strength training workouts, trying their absolute hardest to get a body like the Kardashians. But after all that sweat, nobody's measurements matched their sisters at all. But instead of questioning what they had been told, their followers just kept following along. And why, you ask? Well, because the Kardashians are famous, and obviously to a lot of people, fame equates to trustworthiness, which is how celebrities and influencers get us to buy the stuff they endorse. When you scroll past a picture of Kim Kardashian in a 2 million gown, your brain does quick math intuitively. It sees money, magazine covers, and 20 million likes, and it immediately decides she must know the secrets to life itself to be where she is. Psychologists call this the halo effect. The moment you admire one shiny thing about someone, the rest of their traits get an automatic glow up. You may take someone's get-rich-quick tips as more believable if they mention that they won a very big trophy before even giving you details about their own wealth. Nothing about the trophy helps with money making, but it made every word that came out of their mouth feel a lot smarter. This is the halo effect, and it's subtly influencing your thoughts without you realizing. Our species actually learned about this habit before red carpets ever existed. Early humans survived by copying whoever had the largest food pile or the warmest heart. Today, riches and headlines work like modern campfires. They signal resources, so we lean in and copy, hoping that some of the success ends up rubbing on. With the Kardashians, they took this entire idea to the next level. They had every single individual that was following them wrapped around their fingers. Teenage Kylie posted several selfies with her lips looking twice the size of what they naturally were, and then sold everybody the idea that it was simply just overlining techniques. Search engines lit up with questions like how to get bigger lips fast, and teenagers tried to suction their lips in short glasses to get Kylie's perfect pouts, only to realize months later that Kylie got her lips that were not by overlining, but with lip filler.
Tell us her secret. How does she get these beautiful lips?
I have temporary lip fillers. It's just an insecurity of mine, and it's what I wanted to do.
But by then, Kylie had sold out her lip kits multiple times to unsuspecting fans and made a lot of bank. She probably came clean to avoid lawsuits from disappointed fans after they failed to get the full lips they wanted with lip liner. And let's not forget about Kim Kardashian's very iconic magazine shoot, where she had a bottle of champagne popped over her shoulder going into a glass balancing on her behind. This image absolutely broke the internet. Never mind the fact that it was obviously photoshopped, because this is physically impossible. Actually, I'm African and I can see in my mind's eye a few women who could pull this off. Some women have ears you could sit on, but it's not common. Anyway, I digress. After this, it sort of felt like ever you looked, Kim was on some sort of magazine cover. She was all over TV, ads, everything. Everyone wanted a body like hers, even though it is physically impossible to have hips that wide with teeny tiny legs and a thigh gap like her. Even I was heavily influenced by that hip to leg ratio, because I'm thick below the waist, but I also have thighs, you know? Zero thigh gap and definitely not a small waist, because natural fat deposition does not skip the waist, legs and thighs on its way to the hips. Kim K's body is not normal in any way, but that's what little girls are looking up to because plastic bodies have been all over their screens from a young age. They think they have to look like that. Nobody can achieve that waist without removing some ribs, which is deadly. The Kardashian bodies are not natural. Kylie's body isn't natural and she knows it, and every adult knows it. And when I think about North or Stormy growing up with mothers like Kim and Kylie, I don't even know what to think. Children look up to the adults around them, so they'll grow up looking forward to looking like their moms. The reality has the potential to damage them for life. I wish Kim, Khloe and Kylie had thought about that before going under the knife so much. What will Stormy think of herself when she's 17 and her body looks like her mother's natural body that she's never even seen, when she's expecting to look exactly like the mother she's grown up adoring? It's a crazy world. BBLs where fat is transferred from other body parts to the behind are still extremely popular to this day. And you have the Kardashians, Kim especially, to thank for that. Not to mention that they're one of the most dangerous cosmetic procedures that you could undergo with a fatality rate of 1 in 6,000. Imagine influencing people to go get a procedure that is exceptionally deadly. In addition, the Kardashians love to preach the exact same slogan every single time, that you could buy whatever products they're selling to look like them. Fans who felt inferior for years clicked add to cart, trying to buy into some sense of finally belonging. They thought that if they just got this couple of products, then their bodies would be perfect and all of their problems would be gone just like that. The Kardashians' total sales regularly pass 100 million every single year since the year they became big, proving that if you teach the world to dislike their own reflection, you never run out of customers unfailingly inflating your bank account for products that won't really help in the long run. They preyed on insecurity and made it their entire selling point. And now years later, the Kardashians are turning around and trying to change that. Kylie admitted to a breast implant, and Khloe finally confirmed all of the Photoshop she used in her pics. But both of them skipped the details about their butt lifts, fat dissolvers and facelifts. But their partial truths earned somewhat of a praise for their honesty, even though they were still protecting their family's favorite marketing tool, and that's mystery. If Kim plainly and outwardly said that her snatched stomach meant that she was doing Photoshop, or she was getting surgeries, lymphatic drainage, and if she was to go completely unhinged and admit to taking Ozempic, those workouts that she proudly displays would then be revealed as lies. If Kylie detailed every single trip to the injectable clinic, then a $29 lip kit would be completely pointless. Mystery keeps the margin high, so half-truths are their best business plan. I've always been under the assumption that being flat-out honest would always get you further. Emma Chamberlain, for example, has been completely honest and down-to-earth, and it has taken her places. Now let's talk about how the Kardashians are actually suffering now. I think one of the greatest examples is Kylie crying about being bullied for her looks.
Like, I've never cried about this before, but I guess it does affect me.
It's okay. It would affect anyone.
And then I'll see some comments and it's like, where some people be like, this is really mean, and defend me. Like, why are we talking about her looks?
Yeah.
It's 2024.
And sure, You can go ahead and say that she's just another victim of these unrealistic beauty standards, and that the world and her own audience actually played a big role in this. But at the end of the day, she and her family played a major part in pushing these standards, and now she's crying about being a victim of them. Yeah, I don't buy it. Ever since I saw that clip of Kylie Jenner crying because of all the mean things people have said about her looks, I've been asking myself 2 questions. 1. Are the Kardashians truly responsible for creating an unrealistic beauty standard? And 2. If the answer to number 1 is yes, does that mean we should no longer feel any sympathy or empathy for them when they experience the very human emotion of sadness when people are saying bad things about them? Because the texts I've been seeing have essentially been that there's no reason to feel sorry for her or any of the Kardashians because they created this unrealistic beauty standard that they can no longer live up to. My view is as such. You cannot want the benefits of perpetuating a toxic standard of beauty when it pays your bills and then some, and then turn your camera on to cry and moan when that standard comes back to bite you, to mine sympathy from viewers when it suits you. You simply cannot reap the rewards of such a standard of beauty without reaping the punishment too.
The only time the Kardashian Jenners ever talk about how societal beauty standards are fucked up and we're all supposed to be beautiful and nice to each other is when they stop meeting their own beauty standards. And I don't feel bad. I also hate the weaponization of like social justice language and therapy talk to try and make themselves feel better about the predicament they put themselves in. Kendall saying,
we're dehumanized. Like they don't think that there's any rules with us, whereas like if you talked the same way you do about us about any other woman, people would come to their defense all day long. But for some reason with us, it's like they don't think we have any feelings.
And it's like your entire empire is based on the dehumanization of women through societal beauty standards. Is you telling women that they're too fat, but also that their tits and ass aren't fat enough at the same time. I don't think any of you have been your natural skin tone publicly for decades. Literally everything that the Kardashian Jenners sell is to aspire to look and be like them. I'm sure people's feelings got hurt for real, and that's so sad, but I literally don't care. You're crying in an outfit that is worth more than the average American makes in a month in a house that is worth more than the average American will ever see in their entire lifetime. On a TV show that keeps shoveling money at you and your family while wearing products that also shovel money towards you and your family. Who cares what your feelings are? We have not dehumanized you. Your wealth and greed have dehumanized you. I don't think you want to be humanized because to be humanized means to be humbled. Humility is not part of the Kardashian Jenner brand.
It comes off disingenuous when you see a grown woman cry her crocodile tears about how other people comment about her appearance. She was always fine with it when people wanted to praise her perfection. So there's this clip from the new Kardashian season, and boy is it interesting. Apparently, Kylie Jenner said that they need to talk about the beauty standards they were setting.
All of us just need to have a bigger conversation about the beauty standards that we're setting. I don't want my daughter to do the things I did. I wish I'd never touched anything to begin with.
And it's just so fascinating on so many levels. But the world has been telling her family that they corrupted an entire generation, multiple generations for years. Are they only truly seeing it now? They must be struggling for views because society is moving on from them. So they're trying to stay relevant with these topics. I don't know where they got the idea that talking about the impact on beauty standards will keep them relevant, but they're doing it. It must be a suggestion from their PR. It's annoying because those beauty standards have made Kylie and her sisters literally billionaires over how set it out as a weird lie about her lip kits and how she didn't get plastic surgery. And now she doesn't want her daughter doing the things that she did and wishes she hadn't gotten plastic surgery at all. And it's just like, come on, if they wanted to, they could straight up announce that they were not going to ever get plastic surgery again because they think it's harmful and they don't want their children affected by it. But they're not going to do that. They just want the credit for acknowledging that they've been setting these super harmful beauty standards, but they don't want to stop profiting off of it. They're trying to gain our trust one more time, even though they've lost it a million times before this. At this point, if you fall and buy their products, it's a you problem. For decades, people were begging the Kardashians to do better with their platform. Now they want to do something when it's a little too late. If they really wanted to make an impact, they could have come clean years ago but didn't. Will they refund the thousands of women that bought their Kylie lip kits to have a full pout that was instead done with lip filler? Will they refund all those who bought their slimming teeth to look like them, yet they knew liposuctions and BBLs were the biggest reason for their body shape? No, they won't. They're going to sit in their mansion and laugh about it. When Kim Kardashian first advertised her own contour sticks, fans imagined that she used those $48 contour sticks on her face every single morning. Now, she flies for $3,000 a month so lab techs can get saline bags filled with nutrients pumped into her body. When a billionaire claims that her $65 daily toner is a must-have, shoppers can sense the disconnect. The product feels too small for the lifestyle, and all of her fans' trust shakes a little harder. Raise your hand if you felt gaslit by the last episode of the Kardashians where they were like,
"Ooh, leopard
Look
queen.
at that hair, Khloe.
I love your hair.
Yeah.
You look cute. No.
Other people can instill insecurities in you. We all have our little things, so it's normal to be insecure sometimes, but I always just remember being like the most confident kid in the room. I always loved myself.
What? I'm pretty sure they all have professional photographers who edit every single one of their photos. It was high-level gaslighting. Kylie of all people. Kylie who saw plastic she couldn't sink if she tried. The Kardashians truly impacted beauty standards forever. Even if their products stopped selling, even if new sales just paused, they'd still be known for changing the entire course of beauty for decades to come. They did not invent vanity, but they industrialized it, repackaged it, and shipped it. But break that loop once, and the entire empire starts to crack. That's why Kim Kardashian's brands are closing down. They say the newest Kardashian show is being called extremely boring and out of touch. And people are seriously starting to wake up. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please go right ahead and throw a big fat thumbs up. And also comment down below so more can see it in their recommendations. Have you guys ever felt subject to these beauty standards? Did you ever go through the Kylie Jenner big lips phase? Or ever found yourself wanting a booty like Kim Kardashian? I hope you all have an amazing day or night, or whenever you're watching. And I'll see you very soon. Bye!
What's going on with Kylie Jenner's face? Well, Kylie's recent appearance at the Paris Fashion Week created a lot of buzz on social media platforms, but fans were quick to notice that something about her face did look completely different, and perhaps not even in a good way. As you can see, Kylie's face appears inflated and puffy, making her look much older than her age. So what's causing that? Well, this phenomenon is often known as pillar face, and it usually occurs when someone gets too many dermal fillers injected in their face, leading to an overstuffed look as the filler accumulates and also starts to sag downwards naturally with age.